When you have a goal that's driven by purpose, then you're excited to go hit that number. Then you're driven to go hit that number. Hell, even the bad days, even the worst days are still worth it because you know why you're fighting to hit that number. Whether it's 400 grand, whether it's a million, whether it's 4 million, whether it's 40 million, doesn't matter. You know why you're trading the blood, sweat, and tears for a certain number, and it doesn't feel so bad when you know the why behind it. But if you're picking arbitrary numbers, it's just a want, and wants come and go.
Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Chris Harder Show, where today I'm grateful for, I'm really grateful for awesome friends that make me do the things that sometimes I don't have the discipline or sometimes I don't make a priority to do, but I really want to do. So for example, in this case, I've got a friend named John. Shout out to John Bowles. And he has been doing such an awesome job of saying, hey, man, I know that you want to play a lot of pickleball. I know that you want to go to the pickleball club to network because there is literally a pickleball and tennis country club here in Newport Beach. And it is the best of the best of the best for business people there. And it's such a great way to network. And I joined the club, 6, 7, 8, 9 months ago, and I was hardly going, but I really wanted to go. I wanted to go for the joy because I have a lot of fun playing, and I wanted to go for the networking, but I just wasn't making myself go. I was making all these excuses. I was too busy or didn't have time or had to get my workout in or whatever it would be. Well, John joins the club a few months ago, and he says, hey, man, I know it's your goal to go more, so we're going to go join this 8 a.m. club on Tuesday mornings and Thursday mornings. And we're going to go, it's called Dudes Club at the country club there. And we're going to go play pickleball with these guys and get to know these guys. It's literally for networking, by the way. They force you to be on other people's teams every single game. You meet new people every single game. It's really awesome. And they said, hey, we're going to show up and we're going to be really good. So we're going to start taking lessons together. And he booked us lessons so that we can go from good, because we're already pretty good, to great. So we can really show up well on the court. And these are things that I've been meaning to do, but was not doing on my own. And so when I start my show with gratitude, because I always want to set the example and set the reminder that, hey, by the way, concentrate on what you do have, not what you don't have. Well, when I start the show with gratitude today, it's for friends like that say, hey, I know you've got this goal. I am going to reinforce the goal and help you make it happen. I feel like I do that for other people, but we're always not very good at doing that for ourselves. So shout out to John. Thanks for making me do that, buddy. And by the way, if you're new to the show and you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about to start out the show like this? I just really love gratitude, and I love the way that it can tilt your life in your favor, because when you take inventory for what you do have, you actually realize, wait, you've got more going for you than you thought. Because honestly, our human brains are programmed to look for where the danger is. So they're programmed to look for, oh, what am I missing? What don't I have yet? Where might I fall short? Instead of doing the thing that does not come naturally, which is looking at, all right, what do I have? What assets do I have? What advantages do I have? What skill sets do I have? What experience do I have? What friends do I have? And when you put all of those little things together, you realize, holy crap, I actually have a much better foundation as a jumping off place than I thought I did. And then that puts a spring in your step. And it's that spring in your step that allows you to show up that much better and get that much better results. That's why I start my solo episodes with gratitude. Now, another little extension of gratitude. I did a client session recently, and I do a lot of these, by the way, but a one-on-one client session with a woman who's been a client of mine for quite some time, actually. I think about 4 to 5 years now. And she was talking about the new year, 2026. And this is really what the show is about for you. She was talking about the new year coming up, 2026, and how she's burnt out. And she's so tired of the hustle, and the more, and the add this and add that. And with everything you add, adds more expenses. And when you add more expenses, you're adding more responsibility. And when you add more responsibility, now you need to make even more. And she's like, something's got to change because I'm not happy. I'm making $1 million a year in my business and I'm not happy. And I thought I would be. And I said, well, maybe it's time we right size your goals. And you've probably, if you've been a listener for a while, you've probably heard me talk about this for quite some time. I'm dating back 5-6 years ago. I started doing this thing called your dream goal budget. And what we do in order to right size your goals is we first look at everything you're spending right now, personally. Then we look at everything that you're spending on your business. And we say, okay, what's missing from your life? You're spending X, Y, and Z right now already. What's missing from your life? So you might say something like, oh gosh, I really need a bigger home. It's getting too crowded with the kids. I would love to have a bigger house in the next 3 years. All right, great. What do you think that bigger house is going to cost you? What's the new house payment compared to the current house payment? How much down are you going to have saved, et cetera? And so then we, in the next category over, we put what's missing in terms of a dollar amount in each category: housing, transportation, entertainment, spending, savings, debt payoff, you name it. We put what's missing in terms of a dollar amount from you actually living your dream life. And so some people might say, hey, my house payment right now is $2,500 and the one that I really want is going to be $5,000. So I need an additional $2,500. And someone might say, gosh, I'm driving these 2 cars and they're really falling apart and I really want 2 new cars and I've got no car payments right now, but I know that I'm going to have $1,000 a month in car payments. So then we put 1,000 in, and so on and so on. And what we end up with is the exact mathematical budget that it would take for you to actually be living your dream life. Now, when some people do this, they realize, oh my God, I am not very far off from living my dream life. Like, this is within reach. I just have to increase this, and I'm there. Some people do it and they realize, oh my God, I didn't realize how big my dreams were and the budget that's going to come along with that. So it's time to get to work because it's worth it, because I really want these dreams. But then there's this third category of people. And we get done with their dream life budget and they realize they don't need to be making as much money as they're making right now. And listen, if you hear this and you're like, there's no such thing as making too much money, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Until you get there, it's unfathomable. But when you do get there, what happens is you start to assess, how much life am I trading for the excess money that I don't need in order to live my dream life? Actually, guys, hold on a sec. I'm going to interrupt this podcast for something really, really important. And if you've been a long-time listener, you know I have never, ever interrupted my podcast to share something before. But the reason why I believe it's so important is I just had my annual tax and wealth planning meeting. And I've been given access, just like every year, to so many incredible tax saving hacks, so many privileged moves that I can make with my family office, that it's kind of unfair that everybody else doesn't get these. Now, if you're familiar with the family office, you have to have a certain level of wealth to be able to work with one. And most people listening probably can't just go and work with my family office. And so the reason why I haven't brought this up before is I haven't actually had a solution for you until now. A solution, quite frankly, that is so important, I'm interrupting this podcast for it. Now, dear friends of mine started a company a while back called True Wealth. And not only do I trust them dearly, I have watched what they have done with my friends and my clients to be able to coordinate their tax situation, their business compliance situation, their insurance situation, and their personal wealth management. Because these are not separate things. This is the number one mistake I see entrepreneurs make. They go out and they piece together these separate people for their business compliance and for their tax situation and for their personal wealth building, and they don't work together Except that's the problem. Each one of these things actually depend on each other to maximize the savings. And I don't mean by a little bit, I mean by a ton. Because I trust True Wealth so much, I am sharing this with you right now, not as an ad, because I am not getting paid for this, but because I believe it's that important for you to explore. If you have a multiple six-figure business, preferably they're a good fit for those with a seven-figure business or close to it or higher, then I want you to hit pause real quick and set up a free call with my friends. Set up the call at chrisharder.me/wealth. That is chrisharder.me.me/wealth. I'm telling you, you can't afford to piece these things together anymore. You are wasting so much money. And if you're sick and tired of feeling like you're working too hard to have too little money left, these are the people that'll fix it, because there's a lot of money out there that you don't realize that could be left over that you don't have access to. So just set up the free call. They're my friends. I've literally never interrupted a podcast for something like this before, so you know it's important. Go to chrisharder.me/wealth and then let me know how it goes. I'll let them know that you're calling. All right, back to the episode. So I just did this session with this client who's burnt out and tired of the rat race and tired of everything. I said, okay, time for a dream life budget. And she's been making $1 million a year for the last couple of years. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? That is awesome. Except when we did her dream life budget, she only needs $405,000 a year gross in her earnings, her company earnings, in order to net and pay herself. She has a very high margin business. In order to pay herself just over $300,000 to pay for her dream life. Everything she's ever wanted fits within about a $27,000 a month budget. So here she is in her business earning, $85,000, $95,000, $100,000 a month, totally burnt out, totally miserable, when all she needed to earn in her business was about $35,000 a month in a business, netting her around $26,000, $27,000 to live her dream life. And when she saw this, she said, this is impossible. Let's look at this again. And we looked at it again. She said, I can't believe that all I need is to make $405,000 this year. Less than half of what I'm making right now to pay for my dream life. What have I been doing? What am I doing? Now, caveat. Here's what really happens. It's easier to have this moment where you say, oh my God, what am I doing? Why am I trading so much life for money that is above and beyond what I need to live my dream life? It's easier to have that moment after you've been killing it for a couple of years. So I just want to interject with that. But at the same time, the double-edged sword is what got you to the point where you are killing it the past couple of years to put you in this position is actually the same thing that could be killing you, or the same thing that's robbing you of time or experiences with your loved ones, or living the life that you want to live it. And every time that I do this exercise, when I end up with a client, because listen, it's not all the time. I'll bet you when I do this, roughly 1 out of 10 clients find out they should be making less to live their dream life than what they're making right now. But that's still 10% of the time that I do this. When people realize that they are overworking to make more money than they need to be making to pay for their absolute dream life, and I mean, we cover everything, by the way, future savings, retirement, everything. I see such a sigh of relief fall over them. I see their shoulders kind of finally drop. I see a smile start to creep in, almost of disbelief, but also of relief. Now, why do I share this? It is incredibly important as you're setting out to make your 2026 goals that you are able to assign a purpose behind every single dollar that you say you want to make this next year. If you need X amount of dollars to pay for your family, give them a certain life that they want, great. That's purpose behind those dollars. If you need X amount of dollars to set yourself up for a certain type of retirement that you want, and you know exactly what that's going to cost, great. That's purpose behind those dollars. I've got a new mastermind client, by the way, in the elite level mastermind. She just joined. She is so awesome. Whose main purpose, she's going to make $4 million this year. And her main purpose is to be able to give half of it away to more people and more employees in the Philippines, because that's where she's from. So she already has her dream life dialed in. Her dream life doesn't cost her that much. She told me what the number is, and it's nowhere near the $4 million that she's making. It's not even a quarter of it. And I said, well, why are you working so hard? I'm a big believer that every single dollar that you earn has to have a purpose behind it. You're going to get burnt out and miserable. And she's the happiest person, by the way. And she said, because every single dollar I make, more than half of it goes back to the Philippines, where I'm from. And I know exactly the impact that it's making. And the more I make, the more impact I can make. Now, that is really knowing the purpose behind every dollar that you are sacrificing life and time and energy and love and experience with. That is purpose behind the dollars. That makes it worth it. Because when you have a goal that's driven by purpose, then you're excited to go hit that number. Then you're driven to go hit that number. Hell, even the bad days, even the worst days are still worth it, because you know why you're fighting to hit that number. Whether it's 400 grand, whether it's a million, whether it's 4 million, whether it's 40 million, doesn't matter. You know why you're trading the blood, sweat, and tears for a certain number, and it doesn't feel so bad when you know the why behind it. But if you're picking arbitrary numbers, and by the way, more than half the people I work with pick arbitrary numbers. Oh, I want to make $1 million. Why? Well, it seems like the next logical step. I want to make $5 million. Why? Well, because I see everyone else on Instagram making $5 million. I want to make $10 million. Why? Well, because I want to be part of the Decamillion Club. These are arbitrary goals. I want to do is not purpose. It's just a want, and wants come and go, especially when times get tough, especially when the rubber hits the road. So if you're picking arbitrary goals, like more than half of my clients, when I first sit down with them, whether they're new in the mastermind and we do our one-on-one session, whether they're a one-on-one client, or whether they just hire me for these one-off strategy sessions where we do their planning for the new year, when I sit down with them and they realize, oh my God, I've been picking goals that don't mean anything to me. No wonder I am tired. No wonder I'm burnt out. No wonder I feel less than. No wonder I keep picking a goal and falling short of it. Well, you keep falling short of it because it actually doesn't have purpose behind it. So you let your foot off the gas a little bit because it doesn't feel good, because there's not purpose behind that specific number. But you'll keep the pedal to the metal when you know why you're chasing a number, because it has purpose assigned to it. So as you make your goals for 2026, if you're going to do them on your own without the guidance of somebody like me or somebody else, then I implore you, don't just pick an arbitrary number. I want you to sit down and I want you to make a list of every line item as a monthly budget that you will need in order to live a life that will make you truly happy and satisfied. Have to have that cabin? Great. Put it in there. Want to give $5,000 a month to charity? Great. Put it in there. Want to put your kids through college? Great. Put it in there. Line by line, every single thing that's missing from your life or required to pay for in your life to live a dream life. And whatever those add up to, right? That monthly budget, whether it adds up to $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month or $40,000 a month or $100,000 a month, doesn't matter. Take it times 12. That is what your business has to be able to pay you in 2026. Then add your business expenses. I know I've got these 2 employees. I know I spend this much in Facebook ads. I know I spend this much in software. So add that to that, and that'll tell you exactly what your business needs to gross in terms of gross revenue in your business. And that number, what it costs you to live, don't forget to add taxes in, by the way. So whatever that monthly number is, based on where you live, add in 25 or 30 or 33 or, for some of us, 40%. So whatever costs you to live, plus what it costs you to generate the income, aka your business expenses to get there, whatever that number is, take it times 12. That should be your annual goal. Not something pulled from the sky. Not something because it just seems like the logical next step. Not something because the world convinced you that you must always be growing year after year. Not something because your friends are making that much. Not something because Instagram makes it look like everybody's making that much. No. You choose your 2026 annual goal for your business, what you want your business to create through total sales, based on the exact mathematical science of what it's going to take for you to live the exact life that you want to live. Because when you do it that way, now the worst Wednesday possible, the toughest week possible, that 1 or 2 month stretch where you just know it's going to be sweaty, now it hurts a little bit less. Now it feels a little bit more exciting. And now you're willing to run through the wall because it's assigned a purpose. I hope this helps. And I would love to know what your 2026 annual goals are. I'm not kidding. My relationship with you guys on Instagram as listeners is one of my favorite things on the planet. When you guys listen to an episode and then you DM me, hey, Chris, did the math. My annual goal is this much. Or, hey, Chris, did the math. Am I supposed to add in this, this, and this? Or what do I do about this? I love that because I get to see you guys taking and applying the stuff that I talk about. Because I will tell you, there's nothing better than a right size goal. The older I get, the more I realize life is too short to spend any more time, energy, experience, whatever, than you need to in order to live the life that'll make you happy. You know, I am the biggest proponent of big goals. You know that if you've listened to the show for a long time. I'm never going to talk you down out of a goal if it has purpose behind it. But whether your goal is $100 million or whether your goal is $100,000, if you can look me in the eye and say, hey, here's the mathematical reason that that's my goal, then I can look you in the eye and say, I know you're going to be happy. Congrats. Let's roll up our sleeves and let's go fucking get it. And if you want to go get it together, drop into my DMs. Hey, Chris, would love a strategy session. Hey, Chris, would love to be a client. Hey, Chris, would love to be in the mastermind. Got a lot of options to be able to lock arms with you and help you get there. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. Thanks for listening, guys. Right size goals for 2026. Let's go. Drop in my DMs. Let me know what they are. Love and appreciate you. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.